Hi everyone. We're going to explain today lines and slope. So lines and slope. So that's what I'm going to explain today. Lines and slopes. All right. So what is lines here? That is kind of a straight line here. So a straight line here, maybe right here, straight line. A straight line has straight line has a constant slope, has a constant slope, has a constant slope. All right. So here, for example, here if I take, here is your y axis here, that is your x axis, and here that is your y. If I take 2 points on the line, like if you have, assume here you have a line like this. All right. So if you have a line like this one here, so if I take 2 points, say that is your P. What is your B here? I'm going to take B as x1, y1, and I'm going to take Q here as x2, y2. So that's 2 points on the line, and I would like just to compute the slope here, or calculate the slope. So what is x1 here, guys? If I make horizontal line, that is your x1. What is my y1? That is your y1 here. And then what is your x2? Here is your x2 here. And where is y2? Here is your y2 here. So how to compute the slope here? The slope here is, I try to compute this area. What is the length of this part here, from here to there? If you look to the whole thing here, that is your x2, right? And from here to there, that is your x1. So that is this piece here, that is this piece x1. The whole thing here, that is your x2. So in order to compute this piece here, that I'm going to write it here, the shaded one, that is the one exactly here, the same. Then it will be x2, the whole x2 minus x1. So this one x2 minus x1. So x2 here minus x1, that gives you this piece. Likewise, for the distance from here to there, that is your y2. So y2 here, the distance from here, the whole thing. So that is your y2. Where is my y1? Here is your y1 here, the distance from here to there, that is your y1. So as you can see, the whole thing y2, and this piece here y1. So how to compute this piece here, guys? This piece, it will be y2 again minus y1. So you take y2, the whole thing from here to there, that is your y2. The whole thing y2 here minus y1 give you this piece. Give you this. So the slope here is, our slope here, it will be right here divided by run. Okay. So what is that? That will be this piece here, which is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So y2 minus, so this one here, the right here in front, so it will be y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So this one here, I could write this one here as your slope here. The slope here is nothing but the change. This notation here means the change in y over a change in x. So I could write it in word, change in y, the whole thing divided by change in x. So that gives you the slope, which in our case here, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. All right? So that's the slope of the line that I have here. And for this one here, as you can see, your y here is increasing, going up, so your y is increase as your x increase, right? So your y increase as your x here is increase here. All right, guys? So that is, we have so-called slope. Our slope here is positive. So y is positive here. Positive because as y increase, your x is increase. So that is our slope. For example here, simple example here. If I give you p here, your p equal minus 3 minus 1, and your q here is 4, 2. So now that is b here. So now I compare, what is my x1? Here is your x1. Where is your y1? Here is your y1. Here x2, and here y2. So I just compare, that is my x1, that is your y1, x2, y2. So what is my slope here? I need to compute the slope. It will be the change in y divided by change in x. So how your y change? So it will be 2, that's y2 here. 2 minus So 2 minus 1. So your y2 here is 2. And your y1 here is minus 1. Minus 1. The whole thing divided by delta x, which is the change in x. What is your x? It will be 4. 4 minus 3. As you can see here, I'm putting the negative number between bracket as always, so that I try to avoid the mistake here. So what, if I simplify this, negative times negative, you get positive. You get 1 divided by negative times negative, you get also positive. So what you have 3 over 7. 3 over 7. That is our slope. Positive number here means your y increase as x increase. Your y increase as your x here increase. So I could repeat the same here. So some people can ask a question here. Here you said y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So here I start with 2 here, and here 2 here. So if you have 2, you have 2. You have 1 here, you have 1 here. So some people, they say, can I use y1 minus y2, since I don't know which one is y1, y2. It's this number here, I could start with q. I can say, oh, that is my x1, x2, that is x2. I can write x1, y1, x2, y2, and replace them. That is correct. So if you write y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2, is still correct, because it's like you factor negative sign from here, also negative sign from here. So what we really care, if you have here 1, you should have here 1. If you have here 2, then you have here 2. So that is the idea. So here 2, 2, and here 1, 1. So they are the same. If you write y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2, it's the same like x2. So that is where you have your slope positive number, or the slope here is increasing. So I could repeat the same story here, guys, for when you have your slope is decreasing. How to describe this? The slope is decreasing by graphing here, and maybe I try to take a room here. So I take this one here, maybe I do that here, and then if I have, for example, this one here, that is where your slope here is negative. Negative, write here negative, guys, negative numbers. So what is that? So if I take a number like, take a line like this, if you take a line like this, then you take 2 number here, as what is going on here for this one here, when you have a slope is negative, your y is decrease, as your x increase, So that is the reason you have negative slope. So here, if I take 2 number here, I'm going to give you, of course, here example here, but here, as you can see, if I take 2 number here, then what you have, I repeat the same story, then the slope, it will be this part here. The slope, it will be this piece here like this, and because of that, you have here negative, because your y, the change in y become negative. Your y is decreasing, means when you take y2 minus y1, you get negative number, over your x here is increasing, because it is very clear. Look what you have, that is x1, that is x2. If I go in this direction, your x1 increase from x1 to x2. If I look to your y, that is what here, that is my y1, and that is your y2. That is my y2 here, y2. So your y, the difference, y2 minus y1, y2, where is y2? It's here, the smaller one here, minus y1, you get negative. The difference will be negative. So that is where you have your negative. I'm going to give you an example here, of course, about this one here, but let me finish what I need, then I give you more example here, guys, more example here. All right, so that is, I leave this formula here, I take this one here out, maybe I take also the graph here out. All right, so now I try to consider different type of line here, guys, different type of line. So for this example here, I should give you example how to show you how to get negative slope here. So I think where is I have just maybe I give you a number here. So all right, so I gave you another example where you have your negative slope. So what you have here, all right. So if I take B, guys, example here to show you negative slope. example number 2 here, if I take, for example, here, if I consider P equal here, equal to 4 minus 1, 4 minus 1. Your Q equal negative 3 and 5, negative 3 and 5. Now how you go ahead and compute the slope. How to compute the slope here? The slope here is a change in y, that is your x, and that is my y. Your x here, which means this one x1, that is 4 here, positive 4, so that is your x1, y1, x2, y2, right? So here y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So if I start from here, it will be 5, the change in y, 5, minus, what is the y1? It will be minus 1. So 5 minus 1 here, I put it between negative, and here you have negative 3 minus whatever the number there, which is 4. I write it. Only I put the negative number between brackets like this. If I simplify this, 5, negative times negative, you get 5 plus 1, which is negative times negative, get plus 1 over here minus 7. Minus 3 with minus 4, you get minus 7. So what did you get? You get minus 6 over 7 here. So that is when you have negative slope. Negative slope indicates your y is decreased as your x is increasing. You follow, guys? So that is what you have here for this one here. So I will give you different type of line here, so different type of line. So that is where you have negative. I'm going to write negative here in short like this. Negative slope, negative slope. As I say again here, negative slope, y decrease as x is increase. All right. So I take this one. It will be similar like this. I'm going to show you how to graph this line. But let us give some tools here we need for this section here. So I'm going to give you so-called horizontal line. If you have horizontal line, all right, horizontal line. What is horizontal line here, guys? If I have graph like this, horizontal line, if I take a line like this one here, what's going on here for this horizontal line? If I take any two number on 2 point on the line here, that is horizontal line, that's your y-axis, and that is my x-axis here. So if I take two number here, so if I take with this point, for example, 2 point here. So for example here, let us make this one here y. Let me or if you let us, I could give replace by 1 and 2 just number. So let us apply the rule here. So if I take, say, that is your p and that is my q, that is your p and that is your q. What is your p, guys? If your p here x1, that is your x1 here. What is your y1? That is your y1 here. That is y1. So now, if I take this one here, what do you have here? X2. So what is the point here, guys? It will be x2. That is your x2. But what is your y? It's still y1. It's still your y1. So when you have horizontal line, like your y is a constant. Your y here is a constant. You fix your y. Your y as a constant means fix it. Does not change. That's the meaning here. If I take any point on the line, you see it's always y1. It's always y1. So now, what is the slope of this horizontal line? What is the slope of this horizontal line? A change in y. Here is a 2 point, right? What is your change in y? That is the change in y over a change in x. That is called the change. This Greek letter here, we call it delta, which stands for a change in y divided by change in x. So what is that here, guys? It will be y1. Your y does not change. Your y, there is no change for y. So y1 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. y1 minus 1. So what do you have? You have 0 over any number. x2 minus x1, that's a number. So 0 over any number, what did you get? You get 0. So what is the conclusion? The conclusion here is the slope, I got right here, that is the first formula here. The second conclusion I got, the slope of any horizontal line is 0. The slope of any horizontal line is 0. Alright, guys? So that's very important. The slope of any horizontal line is 0 because you don't have any change in y. The change in y is, there is no change. Your y fix it. Your y fix it. Of course, you can create simple example here, guys. What is the example here I could have? I take this one here, negative out. So what do you have here for example here? If I take y equals, say, 3. Y equals 3. So y equals 3 here. I need to, I'm going to sketch the graph here. What is the graph of this? it will be horizontal line. At 3 here, that is y equals 3, horizontal line. So that is your y-axis, and that is my x-axis. So at 3 here, as you can see, your y fixed equals 3, so there is no change. So for this one here, what is the slope? It's because it's a horizontal line. The slope here is 0, because the change in y, we don't have any change. It will be the same, 3 minus, it will be 3 minus 3. If I take any two number here, for example, here your x is 1, you take another point here, say x equal 2, so your y is what? 3. So what is the point here, guys? The point here is your x is 1 and your y is 3. What is the second point? Your x is 2 and what is your y? 3. As you can see, that is y1, y2. So the change of this is 0. So you have 3 minus 3, that gives you the slope. The slope, 3 minus 3 divided by 2 minus 1. So what did you get? You get 0 over 1, which is 0. So that is slope of any horizontal line is 0. So now I give you horizontal line, so I have to give you vertical line. What is vertical line here, guys? Vertical line. So vertical line, how do you get the slope? Vertical line, that is equation when you have x equal constant. When you have x equal constant. So horizontal line, that is where you have y equal constant. When you have y equals, just what is constant? Just a number. Just a number. So vertical line, when you have x equal constant. So if I have, here is the graph. If I make horizontal, vertical line like this. What is the graph of this one here? This one here means your x fixed. Your x fixed. As you can see, that is where x equal constant. So for example, if I say x equal, say 3, x equals 3. So that is horizontal line, vertical line like this. So x everywhere here. If I take a point here, there, there. So what is it? What is exactly change? Your y. That is your y-axis here, and that is your x. So if I take 2 points on the line, any 2 points, you take 1 point here, 1 point there. What you really care, only 2 points. Could be anywhere, but as soon as they are on the line is okay. So I take 1 point here. So this point, what is your? I look for here. What is your x? Your x here 3. What is your y? Just I make horizontal line like this. I try to see the value here. Assume the value here, for example, here, say 5. And then I take another point here. So here your 5, your y 5, your x is 3. I take another point here. So what is your x? Your x is still, your x here is still 3. But what is your y? Maybe here you get 3. Just another number here. So you have another 3. So what is the 2 point here, guys? The 2 point I have here, you have 3, 5. And the second one here, 3, 3. So now, what is your slope? The slope here is the change in y, divided by change in x, all right? So, which is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So that is x1, that is your y1, that is x2, that is my y2, right? So the change in y here, it would be 3 minus 5, 3 minus 5, and the second one, because there is no change in x, we will have 3 over 3. So your x is 3, x2 is 3, and x1 3, because your x fixed. Your x does not change. Only what is the change, just your y change, but your x is still fixed or the same. Right? So what did you get here? You get minus 2 divided by 0. So we cannot divide by 0. So this one here means it's undefined. So the conclusion here is, if you have a vertical line, then the slope of this vertical line is undefined. So I write this here as a remark: the slope of any vertical line is undefined. Okay, guys. So whenever you have vertical line, the slope here is undefined because your x does not change, and we cannot really divide by 0, and we cannot divide by 0. Is that okay, guys, so far? Okay. So now I need to show you how to get the equation of this line. So now I talk about the slope. Now what is the equation of this line and how to get this equation? And I give you one by one here. All right. So here I go for equation of the line. How to get equation? I write in short equation of lines. Equation of lines. All right, so how to get equation of lines here. So here, what is the standard form? The standard form here, guys, is standard for the line here, for the equation of the line, is ax plus by equal constant c. So what is your a, what is your b, what is your c? Just real numbers. Real numbers. That is the standard form. For example, here, I could have 3x, example here, you could have 3x plus 4y equal 12. So your a here 3, your b 4. So that is, this one here, we call it, that is the standard form of a line, equation of the line. As you can see, that is called the equation here because you have equal sign, as I mentioned. The highest power for, how many variables you have here, guys? 2, x and y. The highest power for x is 1. The highest power also for y is 1. So here, the highest power for x is 1. The highest power for y is 1. That is the reason we call it linear equation. It's a linear equation, but that is also represent the equation of the line. So that is standard form here, and there is another form here, we call it slope and intercept form. Slope and intercept form, what is that? So it will be this form here, y equal mx plus little b. Your m here, we call it the slope. So your m here is the slope, and your b here is your y-intercept. What is y-intercept? Y-intercept here, where is the graph cross y-axis? Where is the graph cross y-axis? All right, so for example here, you could have y, example here, you could have minus 3 over 4x plus 3. So that is the graph here, minus 3 over 4, that is your, what's called here the slope. Your slope is negative number, and that is my y-intercept. So if I graph this one here, I'm going to show you how to graph this one here, but let me just try to show you now, and I will return back how to graph this one. How to graph this one here, you find, as I explained today for other class, you have to find x-intercept and y-intercept in order to sketch the graph of this. How to sketch the graph? Your equation, what is your equation here, guys? Your equation is what? I just write it here, y minus 3 over 4x plus b. What is your b? You have 3. So now, how to get x-intercept, guys? X-intercept, what is x-intercept means? Where is the graph cross x-axis? Where is the graph cross x-axis? We mentioned, if I call this equation number 1, so you put y equals 0 in 1. If I put y equals 0 in equation 1 here, so what do you have? You have minus 3 over 4x plus 3. Then I go ahead and solve that for x. Go ahead and solve that for x. Here, it's a constant, and that is where you have x. I take this term to the left, so you have plus 3, 4x equal 3. So I take this term here, I put circle to the left, then instead of negative, you have positive. Now, how to solve this one here? I multiply both sides. I need to solve that for x. Multiply both sides by 4. If I multiply by 4, just multiply by 4, both sides by 4. So you get 3x equal 12. 3x, if I multiply by 4, you get 12. If I multiply by 4 here, 4 cancel with 4, then you get just 3x. Now I need to solve for x, means you divide by 3. So what did you get, guys? You get 4. So here, your x-intercept, your x is 4, but what is your y, guys? Your y here is 0. Your y here is 0. As you look what you have, I put y equals 0. So you have 4 and 0. So now I need to get y-intercept. Y-intercept. Where is the graph? Cross y-axis. Where is the graph? Cross y-axis. If I look to equation 1, I put x equals 0 in 1. I put x equals 0 in equation 1. I go back in equation 1 here, just to replace x by 0, guys. If I replace x by 0, you have negative 3 over 4 multiplied by 0 plus 3. So what did you get? Very clear, that is y equals 0. So what is the second point? The first point 40, The second one, I will have your x is 0. I put x equals 0 here, x equals 0. Then what did you get for y? 3. For y 3. So now we have 2 points, guys, here. Just locate those 2 points. When here x equals 4, maybe I put it here, that is your x equals 4. What is your y here? Your y is 0. So at this point on the line, x equals 4 and y equals 0. The second one, your x equals 0, but your y is 3. Your y is 3. So here that is your y 3, and your x is what? your x equals 0. So that is the second point here, guys. Your x equals 0, that is your y-axis, and that is my x-axis. As soon as you locate those 2 points, just to connect them, guys. Just to connect them here, just to have ruler here, just to connect them. Then that is the equation number 1 here, equation of the line here. So that is where you have how to get the slope. The slope here, it will be like this one here. As you can see, when I connect this one here, your y is decreased. Where is your x increase? And the slope here is negative because of this. So if I look for this, I can compute the slope here, as you can see. So the change in y over change, but is negative because your y is decreasing. As you can go steeper and steeper like this, so your y is decreased as x is increased. So that is the way to sketch the graph of a line. We're going to have this a few times or several times so that we know how to sketch the graph for this one. Okay, guys? So I give you another one here to sketch the graph. I take this one here out, and then I will return back to this one. But I really care here, after sketching the graph, how to get the equation of the line, or what kind of information to get equation of a line here. So what I'm going to do here, guys, I take this one here. If I give you another example here, so what do you have? Example number 2 here, example number 2, if you have y equal minus 2/3 x plus 5. So that is a line here, it is equation of a line, yes. Why? Because you have, the highest power for x is 1, the highest power for y also is 1. If it turn out the power of x or y is not 1, let's say 2 or something, that is not a line, it's not a line, it's not linear equation, it's not linear equation. This, we call it linear equation because the highest power of x1, here 1, and you have equal sign. But that is equation of the line in this form, mx plus little b. Y equal mx plus little b. So here, what is your m? Is negative 2/3. What is your b? Your b here, that is your y-intercept is 5. That's called y-intercept. Your b here, we call it y-intercept. So I figure out y-intercept. So here, if I grab this one here, I know y-intercept is 5. So at here, this point is 5. So I need to get another point. So this point here, your y-intercept is 5. That's called y-intercept. Is 5 means your x is what? Your x is 0. Your x here in y-axis, that is in y-axis here. Always in this axis, y-axis, always you have x equals 0. Always you have x equals 0. So I need to get x-intercept. Where is the graph cross x-axis here? So I need to get x-intercept. How to get x-intercept? Let me call this equation number 2. So I have to put y equals 0 in equation 2. In the line here, the equation of the line. How I have to put y equals 0. So if I put y equals 0, you get negative 2/3 x plus 5. I replace y by 0. I write the equation. Then go ahead and solve this equation for what? Go ahead and solve the equation for x. Go ahead and solve the equation for x. So I take this term to the left. So you come plus 2/3 x, and that is equal 5. So I take this one to the left, you can become plus. Then I need to get rid of the fraction 3. Then you have to multiply both sides by 3. If I multiply by both sides by 3, you get 2x equal, and multiply by 3, you get 15. So I multiply by 3, get 15. If I multiply here by 3, then 3 cancel with 3, and here I multiply by 3. As you can see, I multiply by 3 here, you get 15. 3 cancel with 3, you get 2x. Now I need to solve that for x. You get 15 over 2, which is 7.5. 7.5. So that is this point here, guys. This point, your x is what? 7.5. What is your y? Your y here is 0. Your y here is 0. So I go back to the graph here. That is your y-intercept. Already I have b equal 5. I locate that. Now I need to put x-intercept. The graph cross at 7.5. Then I connect them like this. You are done. You connect them. You are done. Again, because our slope is negative here. Your slope here is negative number. As you can see, is decreasing. Your y, where is your y, guys? Here. You can see here. If I take 2 points, your y here and y here, as you can see, your y is going down, so decreasing. Y decrease. I could write here y decrease. Your y is decrease as your x increase. That is the reason your slope is negative number. All right, guys. Your slope here is negative number. So now let us take some problem here. How to get the slope here using some information here, guys. All right, I have to get the slope of some information. So the conclusion here is I have two form of the equation of the line. That's called general form here, ax plus by equal constant, or we call it slope intercept, and that is the general way, and mx plus b, m here is the slope, your y here, your b, we call it y-intercept, where is the graph cross, your graph cross what here, x-axis. Okay guys, your graph cross y-axis. All right, I take this one here out so that I can give you other stuff here, guys. All right, so I take this one, at least this part here, so that you can copy this one here. All right, so now guys, how to get finding, that is another title here, finding the equation of a line. Finding equation of a line. All right, finding equation of a line. All right, so here how to get the equation of a line here, guys. I have a few cases here. Case number one here, you could have one point, just maybe right here, and so you have 1 point, so 1 point and the slope, 1 point and slope. All right, guys, 1 point and slope. So I can take this one here out. Take this one here out. All right, so here guys, we are going for this part here, finding equation of a line. And first case, if you have 1 point and slope, how you get the equation of the line? For example here, here is example here, example number one. If I have a point, say P equal, that's 0.3 minus 1, and your slope here is given to you 4 over 5. All right, 4 over 5. So here, what is the question here, guys? We need to find, the question here is to find the equation of the line. How to find the equation of the line here? The line here, this line pass here, pass through this point. So which means this point, 3 minus 1, and has slope, equal 4 over 5. Then what is the equation? What is the equation of any line? Equation of any line should be in this form, mx plus little b. What is your m? Your m here is the slope. What is your b? That is your y-intercept. That is your b here, y-intercept. So here, your slope is given to you, which is 4 over 5. So your m is given. So I have to write y equal 4 over 5 multiplied by x plus b. 4 over 5, that is your slope is given. I wrote it here. So the question now, how to get y-intercept? How to get y-intercept? So what is given here is given to you 1 point. It is give you 1 point. I'm going to use this 1 point satisfy in order to get b, in order to get y-intercept. How to do this one here, guys? This point line, where is the location of the point? On the line. This point on the line, which means this point, that is your x. Your x here is given equal 3. Your y equal. So this one here, your x, for this point, x equals 3. What is your y? Your y equal -1. Your y equal -1. So those 2 points on the line. So what I'm going to do in order to get y-intercept, just I replace x by 3 and replace y by -1. See what did you get here, guys, if I do that here? If I do that here, just replace x by 3. Let me call this equation star here. So I'm going to replace x by 3 and y by -1. So if I replace that by -1, just replace y by -1. Here, what is your x? 4 over 5 multiplied by x. What is your x? 3. And that is plus b, guys. That is plus b. Then I go ahead and solve that for b, guys. Solve that for b. So what do you have to solve? Here, 4 multiplied by 3, you get 12 divided by 5 plus b. So that is a constant term, and that is also constant term, and that is your b, that is your unknown. I need to find that. So I'm going to collect all the constant to the other side. So you have -1. When I take that to the left, you get -12 over 5 equal b. And now we can't use technology. It's okay to use decimal point. Or if we try to write as a fraction, I can write here, since you have here 5, I should write -1 as 5 over 5. So that I can combine that with this term here, with this fraction here. All right? I could write what I did. I rewrote here -1 as -5/5, which is 1. 5/5 is 1. Now I can combine them. -5 with -12, you get -17/5 equal b. So that is your b. So now what is the equation of the line? Here is a star here. Equation of the line. I figure out the slope is already given. I figure out b. So what is my b? It will be here 4/5. That is your slope. Your slope. X plus b. What is my b? Just your b here is -17/5. -17/5. Or if you want, I could write it here 4/5 x minus 17/5, because positive times negative, you get negative. So that is the equation of the line, guys. That is the equation of the line. All right, guys? So that is where, if you have one point and the slope is given to you, how to get the equation. I show you by this example how to get the equation of the line if you have one point on the line and the slope is given. So that is case number 1. I may have another case here, case 2 here. What is case 2, guys? If you have 2 point, I write here point short, guys. 2 point is given to you. So that is given. 2 point, they are given. So if you have 2 point on the line given, how you get the slope? How you get the slope? For example, here, guys. So I'm just writing here. So I give you by example here. So explain that by example. That is case 2 here. So what you have say P, that's 1 point, 2/7, 2 and 7. And what is your Q here, guys? Your Q here equal -1 and 5 here, -1 and 5. All right, -1 and 5. So that is the second point. So now, what's those 2 points? What is the question here? The question here is we need to find the equation of the line. Find the equation of the line where this line, where the line it passes here, those 2 points, 2, 7 and -1 and 5. That is 2 here. That is 2, 7. That is 2 here, 2, 7 and -1. So I need to find those two points given to you on the line. So the question now, how you are going to find the equation of this line? How you get the equation of this line? So what I'm going to do, equation of any line here should be in this form, mx plus b. So now I need to get the slope. I need to get the slope. What is the slope here, guys? Your slope here, m, which is, your slope here, m, which is, how to get the slope? I wrote that in the beginning, the change in y divided by change in x, divided by change in x. So change in y over change in x. So here's the point here, look what you have. So that is your x1, that is your y1, and that is x2, y2. That is here x2, and here that is your y2, right? x1, y1, x2, y2. So now, what is the change? Just start with y, 5 minus 7, 5 minus 7, divided by change in x. Here what you have -1 minus, so that is -1 here. So I write -1 minus -2. -1 minus 2. So if I simplify this, you get -2, guys. -2 divided by -3. So what is that? It will be just plus your slope here 2/3. Your slope here 2/3, right? So I figure out the slope here, which is 2/3. So the equation of the line here, guys, it should be y equal 2/3 x plus b. So that is the equation of the line. Where is the equation of the line? Here, mx plus b, mx plus b. I figure out m from using those 2 points. I put it here. So now I need to get y-intercept. How you get y-intercept? How many points is given to you? From the previous example here, guys, you need 1 point in order to get y-intercept. 1 point on the line. So here is given, you are lucky you have 2 points on the line. So you can pick any one of them in order to get b, because this point, either p or q, satisfy the equation of the line. So what I'm saying here, you could try either take this one or that one. Usually, which point you take, if it's one, for example, here, if you have 0, 7, or if your x is 0 or your y 0, then that is a point you should really take, because that's make your calculation easier. But if you take any point, it's still correct. Your y-intercept should be the same. For example, I'm going to consider b equal 2 and 7. So 2 and 7 means your x equal 2. What is your y? Equal 7. So I'm going to put this equation, just give this number here, maybe I call it 3. So in equation 3, guys, I replace x by 2. So I put that in equation number 3. So I replace y by 7. So here you have, I replace y by 7, replace x by, here you have 2/3. What is your x? Is 2 plus b, plus b. So I replace x by 2, I replace y by 7. If I simplify that, what do you have? You have 4/3 plus b. So if I simplify this, you have 7. I take this, that's a constant term. That's a constant term. I take that to the left. You have minus 4/3 equal b. So now I try to simplify this. Here you have 7. You can use technology and simplify. That's okay. You can write it as this one, no problems. But I could, here you have 3. So then I have to write this one here as 21/3. 21/3. And here minus 4/3. 21/3, that is 7 here, but the reason I wrote it divided by 3 because you have here 3, that is equal b. Now I can combine 21 minus 4, so 21 minus 4, the whole thing divided by 3, that is your b. So what is my b, guys, here? Your b equal, so you have 17/3, guys, 17/3. So if I simplify this one here, so what you have, the equation of the line should be 2/3 x, that is equation number 3 here, 2/3 x, what is your y-intercept? Plus, that's positive 17/3. So that is the equation of the line. That is the equation of the line. So what's going on here? Here at the previous case, case number 1, I gave you 1 point as the slope. And then you are able to get using the slope here, and then you get y-intercept by using the point is given to you on the line. Now the second case, you have 2 points on the line. So step number 1, you go ahead and find the slope, m. What is m? The change in y over the change in x. Then you figure out the slope. If you are getting the slope, then you go back to case number 1. You can take, I need to get y-intercept, which is my b here. What is your y-intercept? It's enough to take one of these points. Either the first one or the second one. Take any one you like. Then that is help you to get the equation of the line. All right, guys? So that is, that's very much for the other one here. So now, we mentioned also, when I started the class, the slope of any horizontal line is 0. The slope of any horizontal line is 0. And that is always y equal constant. Y equal constant, right? And then I give you also the slope of any vertical line is undefined. Undefined because your x equal constant. Your x equal constant, all right? So we don't like to repeat this one here, but I think what I have, maybe I give you an example here, what I summarize with it. If you have y equal constant, what do you mean constant here? Constant, say y equal 5 or 100, 5. Then there is, what is the slope of this? Oh, where is 5? It's here. So that is at 5, y equal 5. So that is your y-axis here, guys. And that is my x-axis. So y equal 5, that is the slope here. The slope for this one here, what is the slope? Is 0. The slope here is 0. All right? Another example here, if I give you x equal constant. What is x equal constant? That is vertical line here, guys. Between bracket, that's a vertical line. So I write between bracket vertical line, and this one here is horizontal line. Horizontal line. All right? And between bracket horizontal lines. The slope of any horizontal line is 0. And that is vertical line x equal constant. For example, x equal 10. X equal 10. So if I graph this one here at 10, here is your x equal 10. I'm going to make vertical line like this. Vertical line here like this. So that is x equal 10. It's a vertical line. So here, because the slope here for this one is undefined. The slope here, what is the slope? The slope here is undefined. You can write for me that. The slope here is undefined. Undefined. Why? Because the slope, the change in y divided by the change in x. X here does not change. Your x does not change, which means x always fixed as 10. So 10 minus 10, you get 0 down. So you get up number divided by 0, which is what's called here undefined. You follow, guys? So that is very much the slope here. I have to give you another, when you have two lines, they are perpendicular and parallel here, and then I can finish this section here, or this part here. All right, so I take this one here out, maybe. All right, guys. So what I have here, guys, I have, when you have parallel lines. So here I have parallel line. So I should write here parallel line. All right. So parallel lines. So what do you have here, guys? If you have two lines are parallel if and only if the slope, they have the same slope. They have the same slope. They have the same slope. All right? They have the same slope. So what do you mean here, guys? For example, here the first line, y equal m1 x plus b1. So I write m1, that's a constant. That's equation line number 1. That's the first line. Your y-intercept could be different. Y, another one here, y equal m2x plus b2. Your y-intercept is not the same. And here m2, that's a different slope here. That's equation line. So that is equation of the line number 1. And that is equation of line number 2. If you have two lines like this, and if I tell you, it's given to you, oh, these two lines are parallel here, then your M1 must equal M2 if you know they are parallel here, guys. They are parallel. All right? If you know, if it's given to you. For example, here, I try to give you an example here so that it will make sense for you. All right? So what do you have, for example, here? If I have y equal, say here 2x plus 1. 2x plus 1. That is equation line number 1. Y equal 2x plus, say, 4. Equation number 2. All right? Those two lines here, line number 1 and line number 2. As you can see, the slope here is what? The slope is 2. What is the slope here? Is 2. So because your slope is still the same, your slope here, they are the same. What is different? Your y-intercept. Your y-intercept here is 1 and y-intercept here is 4. If I graph this one here, you will figure out how to graph this one here. Let us graph number 1 here, guys. Graph equation 1. How to graph number 1? Very quick, you find x-intercept. How to get x-intercept? You are going to put y equals 0. I put y equals 0 in equation 1, right? I put y equals 0 in equation 1. So maybe I need to solve this. So because it's not clear here, so if I put y equals 0 in equation 1 in 1, so what did you get? You get 0 equal 2x plus 1, 2x plus 1. And then you have to solve this one. How to solve this one here? I can take 2x to the other side, right? Or just take 1 to the left. If I take 1 to the left, what do you have? You have -1. Divide by 2, you get -1/2 equal x, right? So that is your x-intercept. So the first point, your x is -1/2, your y equal 0. Your y equals 0. The second one here, what is your y-intercept, guys? What is y for the first one? What is your y-intercept? I am just telling you y-intercept is 1. Y-intercept here is 1. So y-intercept here, I have to put x equals 0 in 1. If I put x equals 0 in 1, you get your y equal 1. So the second one here is the first point, your x is 0, but your y equal 1. So that is the first 2 points for the graph number 1. So now, if I try to graph this one here, where is the location? Just locate this one here, guys. So I try to locate this one here. That is your x-axis. That is my y-axis. The first point, -1/2. Your x is -1/2. Here, -1/2 here, right? And your y is 0. So that's the first point. The first point, x equal -1/2. I put it here. So the second one, your x is 0, but your y is 1. So your y is 1. That is the factor. Then I need to connect them. Just connect them because it's a line. And then I write here equation 1. I write here equation 1, like this. So that is the graph of equation 1. So now, if I try to graph 2, guys, graph equation 2 here, line 2, graph line 2 here, that is number 2 here. I need to graph this one here. I repeat the same. I need to get x-intercept first. What is your x-intercept? I have to put y equals 0 where? In 2. If I put y equals 0 in 2, you get 0 equal 2x plus 4. 2x plus 4, right? I need to solve that for x. I can take 4 to the other side. I take 4 to the other side. So what do you have? You have -4 equal 2x. Then what is your x divided by 2? Divide by 2, you get -4/2. So what is your x equal -2? Your x equal -2. So what is the point here, guys? Your x is what? -2. What is your y, guys, here? Your y is 0. So that's the first point. Now I need to get y-intercept. Already we know y-intercept here, guys. Y-intercept here, that is your b, the constant here. That is called y-intercept. Your y-intercept is 4, right? So you can do it also x equals 0 in equation 2, guys. If I put x equals 0 in equation 2, you get y equal 4. Y equal 4. So the second point 0 and 4. Now I graph the graph number 2. So here, the first one, x equal negative 1 over 2. If I try to go here, maybe that is negative 2 here. That's the first point. And so x equal negative 2, and y is 0. So that is this one here. What about the second one, 0, 4? At 4 here, guys, at 4 here, that's the second point. So that is 1, that is your 1 here, just to connect them. If I connect them here, guys, like this, you'll see this line parallel to this. This line, they are parallel like this. All right, guys? Parallel means you have the same slope. And so that is very clear from this example here. Since they have the same slope, right, then they are parallel, guys. They have the same slope, then they are parallel here. So what I'm going to do here, guys, I think I should give you example here to how to apply this one here. So if you have two lines, they are parallel like this, then they must have the same slope. They must have the same slope. All right. So what I'm going to do here, guys, I'll give you example here. I think the one in the middle here. Example here, how to get equation of the line if you have this information, and then so here's the example here. Find the equation of the line. That's the example here, guys. I need example here. I need to find the equation of the line parallel to this one here, parallel to the line, the line y equal 3 over 4x minus 1. 3 over 4x minus 1. All right? 3 over 4x minus 1. And that's the first information. The second information, they tell you, and throw the point 2 and 5. So what's going on here? They tell you I need to find the equation of the line parallel to this that is given to you, and the line passes through the point 2,5. All right, guys. So now, what is the equation of the line here? Which line do you need to find? The equation of the line I need to find, I call it mx plus b like this. Mx plus b. So that is the equation of the line I need to find. So what is this line? Let me call it a star here. What is the relation between a star and double star here? What is the relation between star, double star? The line I need to find is parallel to this. So which means if the star and double star are parallel, means you must have the same slope. Your m here must equal to 3 over 4. The slope here must be equal. So you have 3 over 4. So the equation of the line I need to find, I figure out the slope, which is y equal 3 over 4x plus b. I need to get b. In order to get y-intercept, you need 1 point. Here is the point is given to you. They give you the line I need to find, the pass through here, or 2, 5, this point on the line that in a star. This point on the line of star here, guys. So now I am going to use this point in order to get y-intercept. Then you are done. So x equal 2, your y equal 5. Your y equal 5. So I put that in a star, guys. I put that in this equation here. Let me give just a number, any number 5. If I replace x here in 5 by 2 and replace y by 5, then you get your y-intercept. So here, what is your y? 5. What is your x? Your x here is 2. Your x is 2. And that is your b. So I replace x by 2 and then replace y by 5. If I simplify this, you get 5. 2 here cancel, 1, 2 cancel with 2 here. So you get 3 over 2. 3 over 2 plus b. So what do you have? 5 minus, I take 3 over 2 there. So you get, that is your b. If I take 3 over 2 to the left, you come minus 3. So here 5 minus 1.5. 3 over 2 means 5.5. That is your b. If I simplify this, it will be 3.5. That is your b. So what is the equation of the line I need to find then? It will be mx. What is your m? So your y equal mx plus b, already we figure out m, which is the same slope that you have because they are parallel here, 3, 4x plus b. I figure out b, which is 3.5, which is 3.5. Okay, guys? So that is the example here, how to use the information is given to you in order to find the equation. So my summary here is, we figure out equation of the line if you have the slope is given and 1 point is given. We figure out also equation of the line if you have 2 points are given. Number 3, case number 3, if the line parallel to another line, then I use the advantage from this because you must have the same slope. And then I can get the slope from there, and then I figure out the equation of the line like this one here, the last example I give you. Next time here, I will give you another example where related to when the two lines are perpendicular. The two lines are perpendicular, how you are going to get the equation of the line. So I will stop here.